Hello and welcome back to my Industrialcraft mod spotlight part 2 of 3. In this one I'm going to be showing you some medium level stuff that we're going to be doing. So if you watched Friday's video you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Well, you probably won't anyway, but never mind. If you haven't seen Friday's video, my part 1, I suggest you go watch that first because you'll see how we set up this little base in here. But we're not going to be using any of this, and as I said on Friday, now I'm going to be using too many items to show you this stuff. So imagine you've been playing for a bit, you've been using your batteries like we showed on Friday, and your generator, and using your macerator, macerating all your ores and smelting them in your electric furnace. So now you got to the point where you're starting to run out of, well, you're starting to run out of coal a bit. Well, the coal you have, you want to be using more for actual coal rather than having to charge batteries with it. So what we're going to build first is some solar generators. So as you can see, I'm just going to sleep till morning, but in my inventory I've got some of all the ores, I've got some glass, some coal, and some cables. Now, the first thing we're going to build is some batteries. For that we're going to need some redstone. Now, you know how to make batteries, I don't need to show you how to make this, but what we're going to build first is not actually to do with making the solar panels, but we need 4 batteries to build it. That's 5, but never mind. Okay, so once we've got that, next thing we're going to build is some actual solar panels, and to do that we need to macerate some coal and get some coal dust. Now when you put coal in the macerator, you may think, whoa, wasting coal, but trust me, solar generators, they take 3 coal dust to make 1 solar generator, and they are so helpful. But while that is doing, we need a refined iron block, or a machine. Then we put that in the middle with our 4 batteries around it and 4 cables like that, and we get an MFE transmitter. That is a multifunction electronic transmitter, or electricity transmitter. These things are basically a bit like batteries. If they get power, they will fill up with power, and you can set how much power they output, and then you can use these to power up machines and stuff. So we need to build some of these first, because the whole point of solar power is it only works during the day. So if you want to charge up stuff or use stuff during the night, then you can't unless you've got it stored up somehow. So we're going to use these MFE transmitters to do that. So the next thing we're going to build is, see how much this we got. Okay, I'll just give myself a stack of that. You understand how that works. So you have to macerate quite a bit of that. Okay, so what we're going to build is a solar generator first. So I've made an electronic circuit. Watch Friday's video if you don't know how to make one of them. Yeah, quite easy. So we need 2 of these actually to make one. So I'm going to build a second one. There we go. We need 2 of them, and we also need a generator, which means we need. Oh, no. We need a furnace. There you go. Just give myself a furnace, and we also need a machine, a chargeable battery, and we get our generator. Now we put our generator in there, put our coal in, or coal dust, our glass in, and then we put 2 electronic circuits at the bottom, and we get 1 solar collector. Now you might be thinking, wow, that is a lot of iron to make, and tin and stuff to make this, and cables especially. And yes, that is true, but think about it. This thing gives you free energy. This just generates energy. You don't need to put any fuel in it at all. It doesn't break. It's perfect. And if you have quite a few of these, so I'm going to make a few more. I'm actually going to make quite a few more. I'm going to make 5. Okay, so I've got my 5 solar collectors. And we'll need some cables and our MFE transmitter. Okay, I think that'll be good for now. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll give myself some batteries. I would make these, but I don't think there's much point in me showing you how to make more batteries, because you know how these work. Okay, you don't need this many batteries, by the way. I'm just giving myself a ridiculous amount. Oh, also what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this on to peaceful. Oh, it is on peaceful. That's good. Okay, so up on top of our base. Doesn't really matter where. Just going to use this little area here. Okay, so actually I'm going to use the admin tool. This is a beast. Where is it? There it is. This thing will break any block instantly and has no durability. This thing is brilliant. If you're not bothering playing legitimately, like with pickaxes and that, this thing is a godsend. It's so helpful. Okay, but obviously you can only get this thing with too many items or other inventory editor. So we're going to use this area up here. Now, the way we're going to do this, we're going to put... Oh, damn, actually, we need one more thing first. We need a switch cable. And to make that, if we go back to our crafting table, we need a lever. There's a lever. So we get our lever, got a cable, and I think we put 2 redstone like that. Oh, God, this never works when I'm trying to demonstrate this. Oh, hang on, no, it's like this. Put your redstone around it like that. There we go. And we get a switch cable. Now, we only need one of these, but the whole point of a switch cable is you apply power to it on any side, and it will send that power downwards, which is good for us, because we want to send it out through our cable. But then, when you power up a switch block with redstone, it will send all the power upwards instead. So you can use them to turn stuff on and off, hence the name switch block. So what we're going to do here, we're going to put some cable. I'm just going to put a bit of cable here, and I'll put the switch block on the top like this. Okay, so this thing's going to accept power from any side, including the top. So we're going to put on our... I've got fly mod on. So we're going to put all our solar collectors. Okay, and these things, they have sunlight. I don't know if they work with stuff on top of them, so I don't know if you could put these inside. I assume not, but I don't know. I'll put them on the roof. But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bury this cable a bit, because the wiring system in this mod is actually quite complicated, and I suggest looking for a better tutorial, because I'm not very good at explaining it. But the way it works is the wires have to be touching each other, and they can't go diagonally. So I've got this cable here, powers up along here, and then what I'm going to do is in the floor here, I'm going to put one of these MFE transmitters. So if I right click on this, the power level in this thing is rising, okay? And this thing will fill up, and then we can drain power from it and use it for powering stuff, or we can charge batteries in, which is the other thing I'm going to show you now. It does take quite a while to charge up. So what I'm going to do is, if you have a lot of iron, or you have the time to go mining for a lot of iron, what you can do is build 3 of these and link them into one MFE transmitter. Or I suppose you could build 4, but you know, I can't be bothered to do that. So I'm going to build 2 more. Just put them on the sides here, and link them into this using the cables. So for that I'm going to need 10 more solar collectors and 2 more switch cables. So I'm going to go do that. Back in a second. Okay, so now I slept through till morning, because it came night. And now you can see I've built 3 of my solar collectors here. These are called solar flowers. The 5 on a switch cable. And these all feed into one MFE transmitter, which is now gaining power much faster. Now the thing with these is they will charge batteries instantly. Now a battery stores 10,000 energy, so at the moment I can charge 2 batteries in this thing. So if I get my battery and I put this in the bottom, sorry, I've put it in the top, charges instantly. So I'm going to be back in a second, because I've got to go look some stuff up, and then I will show you wiring this, adding another one of these in to increase power storage, and then how we're going to wire it into the stuff downstairs. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, now so I'm back down in my base, and I'm going to show you how to make bronze, which is the next thing we're going to do. Now, bronze can be used to make armor and tools, and compared to the standard materials, it is slightly slower than iron, but it lasts slightly longer. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can see the bronze stuff here. Now, to make bronze ingots, you need bronze dust, and to get bronze dust, you need... don't need that anymore. You need copper dust and tin dust. Now, when you macerate copper and tin ore, or ingots, you can macerate these, you get dust. So if I give myself some tin dust and some copper dust, and what we do, we go to a crafting table and we put our tin dust down, and we have 3 copper dust for every 1 tin dust, gives us 2 bronze dust. You take this, pop it in your furnace, and in a minute you will get 2 bronze bars. So, the bronze bars, the other thing we make with bronze bars, let's grab myself some of these, so yeah, you can see you get bronze ingots. They're not too resource heavy, but one thing we are going to make with them, ballsed it up already, there we go, a wrench. Now, if you have tried to remove one of the, I probably should have explained this in the first video, but you cannot destroy machines with a pickaxe. Like, you can't destroy like the generators and stuff with a pickaxe, because you lose the machine, you lose the device, and all you get back is one of those refined iron blocks, the machines. So the way you have to remove stuff is with a wrench, and by right-clicking on stuff with a wrench, it guarantees, I think it guarantees that you get it back. There may be some like chance that you get it back, but it's very high. But these do have durability, and you right-click on stuff with a wrench. Hitting it does nothing, but you right-click on stuff with a wrench, and it will pop off, and then you get it back. Now, if you try and destroy these with a pick, you just get a machine back, so they don't work. Some stuff you can destroy with your hand or with a pick, like cables. Obviously, you can destroy with your hand. You don't need anything special to do that. But, okay, so, you saw this earlier. Now, the power from this thing can either be output through the top or through the bottom. So we're going to take it out through the top. Now, there's something special with this. If I right-click on this, as I did earlier, it opens up the menu and shows us that it's now full because I left it running. But if I right-click on it with a cable, it puts the cable down for me. So, what we're going to do next is add another cable here. And onto the end of this, we're going to put another MFE transmitter. Now, this one will start charging up from the one that's under there that we now can't get to. Dig like that and get to it. But this one will start discharging, and this one will start filling up. Now, these are still charging that one, but they're not charging it quick enough to keep up with this 32 energy units per second. They're not actually per second, they're per frame, but just think of them as per second, because everything uses this EU per second thing. Okay, so this is outputting 32. Each of these outputs 1. So I've got 15 solar collectors here. So this thing is being charged at a rate of 15 EU per second. Unfortunately, it's outputting at 32 EU per second to fill up this one. So this one's filling up faster than this one can be filled up. So you can see this one isn't draining as quickly as this one's filling up, but it is draining. Once this one's full up, then that one will start filling back up again. And if you chain loads of these together, you can store power in them. Like, you can make big loops of these, and there's more information on that. You can get it from YouTube, you can get it from the Industrialcraft wiki, but I'm not going to show you that today. But you can chain loads of these together, and each one will fill up the next one until the whole thing's filled up, and then you can store more power while it's charging up. So that's kind of cool. So the next thing I want to show you is what am I going to show next? Hang on. I haven't really thought this through, to be honest. Nuclear power. Nuclear power is what I'll show you next, because it isn't that difficult. However, it is quite resource intensive. So, what we're going to need some bronze ingots, we need some refined iron, and we're going to need some tin for this. We're also going to need another machine, which is going to be the compressor, and I'm going to show you that now. Now, to make the compressor, we need an electric circuit. So I'm going to build one of these. Okay. We also need another machine. Need these for loads of things. And we also need some smooth stone. We need 6 of it. Now, what we do, put the smooth stone down the sides, machine in the middle, and electric circuit above it. It gives us a compressor. Now, this compressor, we're going to put down in the corner. Okay. This thing used for crushing stuff into new stuff. Okay, so what we're going to make some advanced alloy, which we use for reinforcing the nuclear reactor and for building the container around it, because if a nuclear reactor blows up, which they will do, then it's going to destroy quite a sizable chunk of your building and landscape and everything. So, the way we do this is tin goes on the top, bronze in the middle, and refined iron on the bottom. And interestingly, the little icon for it, it's up the other way, so I don't know why that is. But these things are metal blocks. I don't think you can actually do anything with these. No, you can't place them. What we do with these, we put them into our compressor with our battery there, and then this thing will it will compress this down, and we will get advanced alloy pieces. So there we go, advanced alloy. Right, now we need some more of these, so I'm going to give myself some. Give myself about 20 of these. I don't know how much I need, to be honest, but also we're going to need some more smooth stone, clean stone, whatever you want to call this. So what we do now is, to build our nuclear reactor, we need a generator, we need some glowstone dust, which you need to go to the nether to build this. Or actually, I will show you this, you can craft glowstone dust, but I can't remember the recipe, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so now I've looked it up, and to make this we need gold dust, which is used by macerating gold ore, and redstone. So if we put 4 gold dust and 5 redstone, we get 1 glowstone dust. Now, that is an incredibly inefficient recipe, since it takes 2 gold ore to make 1 piece of glowstone dust. It's much easier to go to the nether, but if you do not want to go to the nether, or you're not at that stage yet, like you haven't found diamonds or built a portal yet or whatever, then, you know, this is the way you can get glowstone dust. So we're going to build our nuclear reactor, and to do that, we need a generator in the middle. We put 4 advanced alloy around it, 2 cables at the bottom, and 2 glowstone. Why does it never work when I try and build these? God damn it. Hang on, I think it might be 2 electric circuits. This is probably the crappiest. There we go. That is how you build a nuclear reactor. Like this. Okay, so we're going to get our nuclear reactor. And we are next going to need some buckets of water. As I said, I'm not playing this legitimately at all. And we're going to build some reinforced stone for the door. Or for the surroundings. So we're going to put our advanced alloy in here. And we're going to surround it with some of this clean stone. And we get reinforced stone. Now, this stuff is completely invulnerable to explosions. You cannot blow this up. I think you can destroy it with a pickaxe. I will try that. Oh, it's becoming night. Oh dear. I might as well take this opportunity to show you some other stuff that you can make. So, if we get our copper dust, and we make 5 like this, and we get our tin dust, and put 4 here, we get an iron dust heap. Now, if we make 2 of these, there we go. Now, if we put 2 of these in a crafting table, one above the other, we get 1 iron dust. Again, that is an incredibly inefficient way of making it, but in an emergency, you can make it like that. And the other thing I'm going to show is coal dust and some redstone gives you 3 gunpowder. Now that's not too bad a recipe, because fighting creepers is annoying, but then again that is still 5 coal. Now that is all the stuff you can make out of dust, and it's good as night enough for me to be able to sleep now. So now I'm going to show you is building the nuclear reactor case, which we have to put it in. So I'm going to put it a bit away from my house, not because there's a chance of it blowing up, because the reinforced stone should stop any danger of it blowing up, or well, it won't stop it blowing up, but it will stop it destroying anything if it does blow up. But just it doesn't look that nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build this bit at the bottom here. Now, we need walls around the side, and the way this works is that the nuclear reactor, the way you give it the least chance of blowing up is to surround it with a 3x3 cube of water. So I'm going to build my 3x3 cube like this. I'm going to put the roof on. As you can see, you need a lot of reinforced stone to do this. Okay, so we've got that there, and that will hold our nuclear reactor. So I'm going to fill up the base here. Okay, so that's all good and full. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put a... Actually, we're going to dig round from the outside and put the cable in that's going to connect to our nuclear reactor. So I'm going to bring it out this side. So I'm just going to dig down 2 and go under here. Now, there we go. That's where our cable's coming out. So we're going to put our cable in there. I'm going to fill this bit back up and bring out our cable just here. Oops. There we go. Bring out our cable just here. Okay. So I'm going to fill that bit back in. Now, this cable here is connected, or will be in a minute, connected to our nuclear reactor. So we need to put a cable there. One on top there. And then our nuclear reactor goes on top of that. Now, this thing won't blow up if there's no fuel in it, so you don't need to worry about that. But the next thing we're going to build is a door. And a normal door will blow up. But what we can build with Industrialcraft is a reinforced door. So if I build that, we got our reinforced door. Now these things are basically like iron doors, so you need a lever to be able to open them. So we're going to get a lever. Now this is our nuclear reactor casing. It looks pretty cool. So we're going to put a reinforced steel door there, which makes it just look epic. Maybe put a lever on the bottom or the side or somewhere. But that opens the door. When this is closed, this is basically completely explosion proof. Nothing can blow it up. Either creepers blowing it up or this blowing up and blowing the whole thing up. So now I'm going to do the water in the ceiling. Move my bucket there, make this easier. Now, the way you have to get this to work is you have to surround it with water. Okay, I want to apologise guys, because I filmed the rest of this video and I didn't realise that my mic was off, so you didn't actually see me, or you couldn't hear me talking about a lot of the stuff that I was doing, but I'll go over it now. Unfortunately you can't see me build it again. I may dismantle some stuff and show you again, but after I finish building my nuclear reactor, you put your uranium in here, in the top, and it turns it into ingots, and you get 4 ingots from every uranium ore that you put in there. Unfortunately, it takes a very long time to do it, maybe like 5 minutes to turn 1 ore into 4 bars. But then you put the uranium bars back into the nuclear reactor at the bottom. And I got some here. You put them in there, and they will start generating power. And if I were to get my cable and hook up an MFE onto that, that will begin charging actually fairly quickly. So, but the uranium ingots, they'll charge up about 3 MFEs fully. If I'd have connected that right at the beginning, it would charge up about 3 of these from 1 uranium ingot. They last a very long time. Wait, no. Sorry, no, it takes 4 uranium ingots to charge up about 3 of these. But you get so 1 uranium ore will charge up about 3 of these MFEs. You get a lot of power out of the uranium. But, oh, this will waste fuel. Like the coal generators, if there's nothing connected to it, it will still burn up the uranium, so be aware of that. Now, the next thing I showed was this machine over here, the recycler. Now, I will show you how to build one of these again, so I'm going to get rid of this. And I will show you that wiring again there in a bit. God, this is going to be difficult for me, redoing all this. So, what do we not need anymore? I'll put in this chest, we don't need them anymore. Don't need that. Oh, we've got so much crap in here. So we don't need that. Don't need them anymore. Don't need glass for that. Okay, I think that'll do. So, okay, the recycler. For that you need a compressor. I showed that earlier with the clean stone along the side, a circuit at the top, and a machine in the middle. Gives you a compressor. Now, if you put the compressor back in the crafting table with some dirt, because you put that in there with 2 refined iron at the bottom, and then a glowstone dust at the top, you get a recycler. Now these things, I'll just put this back over here, into this you put any random material that you don't want, and it gets rid of it, But in the process, it makes these some random scrap. Okay, and it's basically salvaging material from all that dirt and gravel that you have in your chests that otherwise you just throw into lava. But I think it is. There you go, you get one. So it takes quite a while to get enough, but once you've got 9 of this random scrap, put that in your inventory, in a crafting table, sorry, and you get a scrap box. Now, if you right-click with a scrap box, it gives you a random item, and you can get really good stuff out of these, like diamonds, energy crystals and stuff, which I'll come on to in another video. But you also get really crap stuff, like you might get 1 piece of dirt, or I don't know, leather or something like that. But you can get good stuff out of them, like a diamond or an energy crystal. You can get like rechargeable batteries or some cable or something. Yeah, you get kind of cool stuff out of them sometimes. But at least it's something back from all that gravel that you don't need, or from that dirt, or all that cobble that you're not going to use. So that is the recycler. Next thing I showed is this, the EC manipulator. Now this thing used to measure power and also change the output of these MFE transmitters. That's it. You change the output of these. Now you notice I've changed these. Oh, I'm gonna have to show you building this again. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, but to build the EC manipulator, you need a lapis lazuli block, or lapis lazuli block. So I'm going to find one of those first. Lapis lazuli. That goes in the middle. You need an advanced circuit. Wait, no, sorry, you don't need a lapis lazuli block. That's to make it. No, I'll show you how to make an advanced circuit. You need your lapis lazuli block. You need 2 cables. You need 2 normal electronic circuits, which you know how to build by now. You need 2 redstone, and you also need 2. Is it gold dust or glowstone dust? I can't remember. I think it must be glowstone dust. Okay. There you go, and you get 2 advanced circuits. Now, if you put one of these advanced circuits back in the crafting table, and you then put... one moment. Then you get 2 wires at the bottom, and you put your 3 redstone around it. You get an EC manipulator. Okay, so that EC manipulator, I've got one here. I need to build one of them again. But you use this thing for measuring power. So if I go up onto my roof with my thing here, and I can measure the power coming out of these. Now this is 32 EUs, because this thing is set to output 32 EUs, so the power coming out of it, which comes out of this top cable, is 32 EUs. Now I said before that each of these outputs 1 EU per second. So this will be 5 EUs. There you go. And then into this is 15 EUs, but you can't measure that. Okay, so these you can change the output rate if you right click on these. I've got a right click macro set up on my G19 gaming keyboard. Oh goddamn. So I can use this to very quickly change that back to normal. That is very helpful, by the way. So I've got my MFE transmitter. Now, what I did in the video, before I realised that my mic was off, was I built this down here. Now this is in order to run my machines without needing batteries. So what I've got here, I'll show you the very basics of this. Outside here, so I got my cable. Power can only travel 9 blocks. So if I set this up here, okay, so there's my 9 blocks. Okay. Now, so if I put some power source here, like a generator, I'll put this generator here. Now, if I put some coal in this, I'll just demonstrate. Where's coal? Coal. Okay, so I put some coal in here, and this thing generates power at 5 EUs per second. Now, it's 5 all the way down here, and if I put one more, this one will be 4, because that's the 10th block, so it drops 1 EU. And if I go 3 more, that one drops to 3, so it's every 3 after that, it will drop 1 more. So this one will still be 3, but then this one will be 2. And eventually, you'll get like no EUs per second, and it will be a complete waste. And also, as I mentioned earlier, if you destroy them, you just get a machine back, so we don't want that. Okay, admin tool, very, very helpful if you're not bothered about playing, you know, properly. Use the admin tool, it's very helpful. So, I've got this running down here. Now this thing outputs 32 EUs, because this thing is set to output 32 EUs. So if we go back down inside the base, I have to explain some of this again, but the power coming down from the roof is this chain of wires here. I don't know if this is bright enough, so I'll put a torch here. Torches are there. help. But this is a cable up here, and that comes down from the roof. I'll just show you that. That comes down from the roof from that. You know, from up here, from there. Okay, so we put our cables down back here again. Okay, so this one will connect to, firstly, this MFE transmitter, which is full, and to this wire. And the way, like, where you have your cable and it splits in half, like this one does, half of it will go to this MFE, and half of it will go this way. If you split it into three, a third of the power will go to that, a third to that, and a third to the other wire. So, this thing has 32 EUs, so 16 of it goes this way, and 16 of it goes into the MFE there. So, these, by the way, are set to 10 EUs per second by right-clicking on the EC manipulator, because each of these machines, most basic machines, use 5 EUs per second or less. And that is a pretty standard amount. So what I've set these up to do is to supply each machine with 5 EUs per second. So, each of these MFEs is set to output 10 EUs a second, and the 10 EUs goes into this block here, from just there. These ones aren't connected because there's no, I'll show you around the back, there is no cable there. Oh, I did that earlier. There's no cable there, and they can't connect diagonally, so these two blocks are not connected. Okay, so the power comes out of the MFE through the bottom and goes to this block here. So this one has 10 in it. 5 of that goes into this machine, and 5 of it goes into this cable, which then goes into this machine. And I've done the exact same thing on this side. So this has 10 in it, and the one underneath has 10 in it. So there's one underneath this one, and behind this, next to this. So it links up all three things. So power comes in from this one, there's 10 in the one underneath there, 5 goes to this one and into here, 5 goes directly into this recycler here. So each of these gets 5 EUs a second, and that's enough to run most basic machines. So using my solar panels on the roof, I can supply them with power fairly happily, especially if all these are charged up. So then I can run them off of the power stored up in these if I need to. Okay, so I think what I'll do now is explain this bit a little better, because it may not have completely sunk in what this means. So, before we were using batteries to power these, to give each of these machines energy to be used. Now we don't need to do that anymore, so this generator is basically useless, it's redundant now, we don't need it. I'll save it there for backups, because in case, if we were using all of these machines, and if we built more onto this, we'd probably need some batteries to help it along, or we'd need to build more solar panels, or just, you know, extend this whole system up a bit. So, then, let's see, so we've got all these 4 machines, and none of them now need batteries. So this one, I demonstrated earlier putting the copper dust in it. If I put some tin dust in this, you notice it's got no power. Put tin dust in it, it's got power, because it's draining this power from the roof, from the solar panels, down through that big cable, down from that cable there, which goes up to the roof, into this MFE, through this cable, into this machine. So, this MFE is not losing power because this only uses 3 EUs a second. And now, the solar panels on the roof supply 15. So that's more than enough to run this on its own, completely happily, without needing any power that we've already got stored up in these MFEs. Now, this thing will just keep running happily. The power's not going to drain. Even if it comes night, the power in that won't drain until because it will just use power out of the MFEs that we've got on this system. So use this one and the 2 upstairs. It won't use this one because that one's not connected to it. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, leave a comment and I'll try and explain it a bit better. So basically these don't need any batteries anymore. They're all powered off the thing on the roof. So we don't need any more batteries. We don't need to use any more coal to charge up these. We can use uranium to do this in here. Oh, the other thing I showed you, I put an MFE here on connected to that cable that was down here. Yeah, this one is connected to the nuclear reactor. And each uranium ingot supplies 40,000 energy units. So one piece of uranium ore becomes 4 ingots, and that will be enough to charge 4 ingots, i.e. 1 ore, will be enough to almost charge 3 of these MFEs, if you connect them straight away, because like I said earlier, they will waste power. If you put a uranium ingot in it, it will use the uranium ingots up, even if there's nothing connected to it. So, I think that was all I wanted to do for this video. the next video I'll get into building like the mining laser, some of the advanced tools. We may get onto building force field generator. They're always fun. There's other stuff in this mod like teleporters, the nano suit, which is ridiculous. Takes so many resources to build that, but that's incredible once you build that. But the best way to really learn this mod, as I found out, is to download it, watch my little videos to show you how to get started and build some basic stuff, and then just have a play around with the mod on your own. Install too many items. You can find videos for that on YouTube. Install Industrialcraft and the other stuff it needs, which you can find on the forum thread, which will be down in the description. And also I'll put a link to the Industrialcraft wiki. It has its own wiki with all the items on there, all the crafting recipes. Ooh, major lag there for a minute. It has all the crafting recipes, and that is the best way to learn how to play this mod. Really, that's all there is to it, to learning this mod, is just download it, have a play about with it, use too many items, try building some of the stuff, set up some of the stuff like I have, you know, just muck around with it a bit till you've learned how to use it all. And I can almost guarantee that you will not learn the crafting recipes unless you're like, you know, super memory, because you know you can't. There's just too many recipes to learn, and this mod is so complicated. But use the wiki because that's got all the crafting recipes on there. It's got information and other stuff on there as well. And yeah, stay tuned for my third video where I'll show some of the more advanced stuff that you want to be doing later on, like the crystal charger, mining laser. I'll be showing some of the the drill and the chainsaw, or maybe the jetpack I'll get onto. And yeah, that'll be quite an interesting episode, probably a bit shorter than this one to be honest, but thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you then.